Hi, welcome back to my channel. So this is in continuation to the first part. So we had discussed about the regulation. Now we will just go through the metabolism of cholesterol and see how it happens. So yeah. So first of all, specialized products of cholesterol. So in this you need to remember bile acid, vitamin D, and we have steroid hormones. In steroid hormones you have sex corticoids, mineralocorticoids, all right, and glucocorticoids. So synthesis of bile acid. Now in synthesis of bile acid, basically there are two organs involved. One is the liver and one is the intestine, and there are two types of bile acids, primary and secondary. You will just know as I tell you all this. Okay, so first of all, see, now we have cholesterol. Now, this cholesterol is acted upon by 7 alpha hydroxylase and it is formed into 7 hydroxy cholesterol. Okay, then this undergoes a lot of changes. Basically, we will see CO2 is going out and oxygen is coming in. We will see NADPH and we will see that propionyl CoA is going, right? So and then it forms basically two things, which is the cholic acid and the chenodeoxycholic acid. Okay, remember the names. I will tell you how to remember it easily. Okay, so basically, okay, now what happens is this cholic acid and chenodeoxycholic acid, so this much reaction is occurring in liver. Okay, and these both are the primary bile acids. Then what happens is they basically undergo conjugation. Now question comes ki what are the conjugation elements? Conjugation with, this is the question, taurine and glycine. Now after conjugation they will form glycolic acid and taurocholic acid. Here same, but just add deoxycholic acid. Okay, yes, deoxycholic acid. Okay, then further, now this is just conjugation. Now after this what happens is these they both they undergo deconjugation by 7 alpha dehydrogenase. Okay, and they form what is deoxycholic acid and lithodoic acid. So lithodoic acid. Now this is occurring in, the deconjugation is occurring in intestine, and these are the secondary bile acids. Okay, so this much is clear. Rate limiting enzyme is 7 hydroxycholesterol. Okay, and it is a CYP-A1 reaction. Okay, then transport of cholesterol. Now transport of cholesterol you need to know 75% and 25%. Now in this transport basically 75% and 25%. So 75% is basically esterified form with long chain fatty acid, and 25 is free cholesterol. Okay, now energy cost. Now you need 3 ATP for 1 isoprenoid unit, and you used 6 isoprenoid units, so you will have 18 ATP energy cost. Okay, now clinical implications. Now Norim's disease. Now Norim's disease, basically just know one reaction and you will know what is happening in Norim's disease. So in Norim's disease what happens is there is lecithin. Okay, it combines with cholesterol through a reaction which is mediated by LCAT enzyme. Now, what is LCAT enzyme? It is lecithin cholesterol acyl transferase. Okay, then it forms cholesterol ester and lysolecithin. Okay, so what happens in Norham's disease is there is a deficiency of LCAT enzyme. Now, since there is deficiency of LCAT enzyme, so basically cholesterol will not be conjugated with lecithin, and there will be increase in concentration of cholesterol. You just need to know the enzyme and the product, what is happening. Wallman's disease. This is very famous question. Now, in this, just know the enzyme is acid lipase enzyme deficiency, and it is also called as cholesterol ester storage disease, so CESD. Okay, now clinical conditions that are associated with cholesterol, right? So but before that, I want you to know few extra points which I told you I will be telling in this, right? I'll just do it later. First, just let's do clinical conditions. So in clinical conditions, first of all, as I told you, in diabetes mellitus, okay, insulin. So here what you will see is basically just know that we have 4 conditions. Okay, first is the diabetes mellitus. Now in diabetes mellitus, what happens is there is increase in the acetyl CoA pool, so there is increase in beta oxidation of fatty acids. More fatty acids, more cholesterol formed. Okay, this is first. Then second, basically we are talking about increased. Okay, then we have obstructive jaundice. Now, in obstructive jaundice, what happens is the excretion of cholesterol through bile is blocked. So this will increase the cholesterol. Then third is nephrotic syndrome. Now, what happens in nephrotic syndrome? Basically, there are 2 types. One is when there is LDL receptor deficiency. Now in LDL receptor deficiency, what will happen is there will be a decrease in the hepatic reuptake of LDL. So there will be increase in glucose, right, in circulation. So increase glucose, increase cholesterol in circulation. Then there is one more, which is increase in hepatic ACAT enzyme. Now, what is ACAT enzyme? So many enzymes, right? So, in ACAT enzyme, this is basically acyl cholesterol acyl transferase enzyme, something like this. So, it basically decreases the intracellular free cholesterol, which leads to the activation of HMG CoA reductase. Then, fourth, hypothyroidism. Okay. Then fifth is familial hypercholesterolemia. Basically, in this there is decreased activation of 7-alpha hydroxylase. Okay, and in this we have basically it's not needed, but you can remember PCSK9 gene mutation. Okay, then one question is asked, which is very like you might not know the answer to it. So there was a question which said that there is an essential fatty acid. It is present in the breast milk, and it is needed for development of brain and retina during neonatal period. So you can tell me in the comments if you want to what is the answer to this. So yeah, so this is done. Then I have 2 more points to tell you, which is the like extra edge, which I think I'll cover